I can remember when I was in sales and I was selling conversion trucks and vans, I made 3 hours worth of phone calls in this tiny booth one day. And it was at this small hotel, actually it was a restaurant in Indiana, till like 9 at night, and went out and grabbed dinner. So that's one thing you do for your family and provide for your kids, you know, you make it happen. But I mean, this is like the tiniest spot. You got your papers crammed over here and you're making, plus back in the day, and when the boss was paying it, you had a credit card that actually had a telephone number, so you had to put in a whole series of numbers. You just kind of kept putting the numbers in, It was unbelievable. But hey, let's try it out and see how it works. Hello? All right. Hey, Mom. How you doing? Yeah, nice to talk to you. All right, I got a private call, so I gotta let you go. All right, thanks. Just as Superman exited a phone booth, I too exited a phone booth wearing a doctor outfit. Yes, I am an undoctor, or a super undoctor as it were. And 9 out of 10 super undoctors that walk out of phone booths all agree to stay away from smoking during times of COVID, no matter what smoke that may be. This is absolutely amazing out here. It's breathtaking. You've got dry riverbeds that are cutting through this tan grass, and it's to me it's so beautiful. And then you've got the blue mountains in the background that I scanned and showed you, and then all these cows running around and this big huge ranch here. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's wonderful. So I want to talk to you today about something that's going on in America, which I'm sure you already know of, but I just want to call it out. And it's called slander. Slander is the greatest weapon in America today, because when you slander someone, and you have the power to do that, whether you're the press or whether you're somebody or blah, 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 you have a huge power, because now that person's on the defensive. They have to explain where they were, what they did, all these other things. And then when it comes down to it, if they slandered you and it's a false accusation, then you got to go back to court and sue them for false accusation, defamation of character, and things like this. But you know, right now, today, and also around the world, this is happening. I mean, people today are falsely accused around the country. I mean, they have less rights. The poorer classes have less rights all the way around the world. I'm talking about the working class. 97% of the people, I'm working class. Most of you people that are listening to this are working class. Those are the people that get accused. Those are the people that get imprisoned. Those are the people that something happens to them, or they're from a certain area in America, or they're from a certain area of India or Pakistan or something else, and they get these false accusations hung on them, and literally that would lead to hanging or whipping or torturing or killing in other places. And even here, the defamation of character can be just absolutely devastating. I mean, look at what happened to Richard Jewell. I mean, all you got to do is watch that movie that Clint Eastwood made on Richard Jewell. That was a slander, a defamation of character. In America today, men and women with no proof, no witnesses, no police, no hospital bills or treatment centers to prove that they had these abuses happen, are accusing a person of doing this, and then it just destroys their life. And then that person has to sue that person, and it's just absolutely terrible. I think one person I can think of right now is Johnny Depp. I mean, I know Johnny Depp personally. When I say personally, he's not a friend of mine, but I've waited on him over 30 times. I know his sister. I've waited on her at the restaurant that I used to work at. We still conversate from time to time. And the reason I'm telling you that is not, say, oh, look at me. The reason I'm telling you that is I know this man. This man is a wonderful person. I've never seen him one time out of line. Any time that I've waited on him or been in a public situation, I just think it's absolutely wrong and terrible what's happened to Johnny Depp. But sooner or later, justice will be served. and he'll be absolved of all these things. And God bless you, Johnny, and the whole Depp family. God bless you. Love and prayers your way. Moving on from that, I mean, think about, there was a recent porn star. They came out and accused somebody in power and said this person did this person did that. But the news didn't report that she had to pay $375,000 for defamation of character or something like that. And so justice was served on this person running their mouth, running somebody else down, and hurting them. I think of marriages. Marriages today, as a matter of fact, in divorce courts today, the attorneys stress to the spouses to accuse that other spouse of abuse or things, and many times it's going towards the man. I understand that there's been abuse, and that should not be tolerated. That should be jail time. That should be a lot of different things, and justice should be served there. But again, there should be witnesses and documentation and police records and things like that. And the first time abuse happens, that's when you need to report it. I mean, I remember when I was in Chicago, I'm walking down the street. This is about 2 a.m. after a little club action. It was on Halloween. And I'm walking back and I saw this guy in a bunny suit, and there's nobody else on the street, literally. And I'm walking down this one side street, and he picks up this girl, throws her into the bushes, and I yell out, "That's not happening again." And then I started walking towards him and her. She crawled out of the bushes. I mean, he threw her probably 10 feet. And I was on the phone with the police. I said, "You need to come here." I think it was Orleans and one of those side streets there in Chicago. And I kept walking. I shed my coat off, and I laid it on a truck that was there next to me. And he says, "You know, you best just be moving on." I said, "You touch her again, and I'm gonna hurt you." And I just waited for the police. I said, "The police are coming." He said, "You might just wait." And that poor girl defended him and said, "Oh, he didn't really mean it." And I said, "No, he would mean it." And there was a lady police officer that came over there on the scene, and the lady police officer smiled and says, "Thank God there's a man that said, hey, you know, that's wrong. You can't do that to another person. It's just totally wrong." I watch the press and how disgraceful they, without accurate information, abuse many people. The press needs to be stopped, and you need to be the one to stop them. That's by stopping watching. Just stop watching. They won't get the ratings, they won't get the stats, they won't get any of that stuff. They can't sell commercials, and then you put them out of business. That's how you fire the press. And that's what you need to do. I mean, where is Walter Cronkite? Where is he? I understand he passed away a long time ago, but I think he was with CBS, if I'm not mistaken. And forgive me if I'm saying the wrong network. We'd gather around as a family and watch this man deliver accurate, truthful news. Facts, statistics, everything else couldn't be refuted. And he was like a god in America. Where are those type of reporters? We just got a bunch of mind-numb sheep. Speaking of being in a ranch area, we got a bunch of mind-numb sheep in America that just, okay, that's what they're telling me. This is what they're feeding me. And you eat it, and you take it, and you digest it, and you don't look up any facts and statistics for yourself. Why? I mean, there's something to both sides. If you believe one side of anything, you're wrong and I'm wrong. If you look at both sides and then make a decision, that's true judgment. That happens in the court of law. If you take one side, just like if you're listening to an argument, police do this all the time. When they divide up people, they find out who's telling the truth, who's not. And maybe the police are a bad illustration, because I understand some people have had bad experiences. I have too. We all have. But on the flip side, the point that I'm saying is you need to divide that up and find out accurate information for yourself. And that's the same that a court would do. That's the same that they do in a good company. The boss comes in, somebody goes to the boss and says something. He brings the other person in. All three of them sit down, that's how I would do it, and talk about, hey, what actually happened here? Or you find out, or meet with that person separately and say, hey, what happened? If you can't bring it together, bring them both so you can find out the truth. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. Whether you or I are talking, The truth is somewhere in the middle, because different bits and pieces sometimes are left out. My final point here in this whole thing of false accusation is it's in the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments that the ACLU, the 10 Commandments that Antifa, the 10 Commandments that these people are tearing down so that you can't see them. That's another reason why I think so many people falsely accuse. They don't realize that the judgment from the judge of all the earth is going to come down on them one day. And it will. Because if we falsely accuse, if you falsely accuse, that is just such a terrible thing to do. I mean, think about, and I'll close with this. Think about the woman that was caught in adultery in the Bible. Is one of my favorite stories in the Bible, because that woman, Jesus looked at her and his first thought is, where's the man? Because it takes two to commit adultery, doesn't it? And they were going to stone the woman and they were going to let the man go free. By the way, you've seen it before. Oprah had it on her show where Muslim men did that, buried a girl up to her neck and then stoned her with stones in her head. And the man was not killed for adultery, but the woman was killed for adultery. I mean, it keeps going on. So my friend, in closing, slander is one of the most wicked things that we can do to another human being, because it's verbal and it's just wrong. If somebody does something, yes, come out and say something, of course. But making up false accusations and things like that people do, it's just terrible. It's horrible. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for enjoying this wonderful view.